I don't know what you're thinking when you keep these tyres on, man. You need to hope for a miracle.
Have you ever seen Lewis Hamilton getting lapped by the race leader? It is somewhat unusual scenery on a race weekend. Why is he struggling continuously, but not Russell in the same W13? After the completion of the first 4 races of the 2022 Formula 1 World Champion, Lewis Hamilton sits 7th in the championship with 28 points, far behind his young teammate George Russell. Even though Mercedes was the dominant performer of the Formula 1 Championship in the turbo hybrid era, they have been dropped suddenly into midfield with the issues in their 2022 Challenger. Surely W13 is not a championship winning package. But the concern is growing over the poor performance level of Lewis Hamilton as he is struggling behind his teammate Russell in the same car. Since the arrival of Hamilton to Mercedes, he was their main driver as Hamilton was capable of beating every teammate that he had. Nico Rosberg was lucky enough to beat Hamilton after a tight battle throughout the 2016 season. After the sudden retirement of Nico Rosberg, Valtteri Bottas arrived at Mercedes in 2017 and his performance level was never strong enough to match Lewis Hamilton until his move to Alfa Romeo for the 2022 season. But this year the Finnish driver is only just 4 points behind his old teammate in 8th position in the driver standings. It is fair to say that the Mercedes struggle to adopt the new regulation changes is the main issue for the poor performance of Hamilton. But he is already outperformed by his teammate Russell as well as by Lando Norris in a Mercedes-powered McLaren.
I was really having to channel the energy and just to stay focused, don't drop a ball.
Welcome to F1 Live. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon as we are your #1 place for your Formula 1 related news. From 3 of the 4 races already completed, Russell has beaten his teammate, except in Bahrain, where Hamilton was lucky enough to have a podium finish to the start of the 2022 season. In the fast streets of Saudi Arabia, Russell finished the race in 5th position, while his teammate was only capable of securing a 1-point finish. Melbourne was a consolatory weekend for Mercedes, where Russell and Hamilton had 3rd and 4th place finishes respectively. The most disastrous race for Hamilton was the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix that was held last weekend. It was the first sprint race of the 2022 season, and Lewis Hamilton missed the point-scoring opportunity in both the sprint and feature races as well. What actually happened at Imola, and was it a mix of bad luck too for Hamilton? Even though Mercedes is out of pace, Hamilton's struggle in Imola is a mix of a series of bad luck for him. Mercedes made some kind of strategic error which cost Hamilton points. But if he would have arrived as expected, the results might have been different. Posting on Twitter, former Formula 1 driver Karen Chandok said, "Very odd decision from Mercedes not to gamble on bringing Lewis in early for slicks.
Lewis Hamilton, it's a 5th British Grand Prix win!"
Seemed totally worth a chance considering he was outside the points. Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix was constantly affected by rain and the pit lane was too busy as drivers were switching between wet and dry tyre setups. Mercedes was too late to pit Hamilton's car to switch into dry tyres even after the track dried. However, drivers were hesitant to make the switch to dry tyres due to early signs of more wet weather being on its way. That may be the reason for the late call by Mercedes to pit their car. Daniel Ricciardo was the first one to opt into dry tyres and was followed by the majority of the field a lap later. It was totally a 50-50 chance and luck was not with Hamilton. Are there any reasons behind the W13 for Hamilton's struggle? Lewis Hamilton, born in 1985, is now 37 on the Formula 1 grid. He is slowly turning out to be the oldest guy in majority of sports. Athletes show a considerable reduction of their performance levels in their late 30s, as their body is not capable of delivering what they had delivered during their early 20s. We can expect a similar type of issue with Lewis Hamilton as well. We know that Formula 1 is not a sport that entirely depends on the performance level of the car. Even a championship-winning car is not worthy if there is no strong performer behind the wheel. Formula 1 drivers go through special exercises, diet plans to maintain their fitness at an optimum level to handle high-speed cars that run at a pace close to 350 km an hour. Lewis Hamilton marked his arrival into the paddock back in 2007, and he's been a hard-working guy since then.
Praying, keep it on the track, just finish.
But with age, reaction speed and muscle power are slowly reduced, and now he is competing with a bunch of drivers who were born in the 90s. So the fitness levels of these young drivers are surely ahead of Hamilton. George Russell is now 24 years old, and Hamilton's fitness levels should be behind his 13 years younger teammate.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
On the other hand, Russell was ranked as a driver capable of winning a Formula 1 championship, since his time in Formula 2 championship and the situation within the Mercedes is not similar to Rosberg or Bottas' era. Then there is no added advantage for Hamilton over skill as well. In combination of fitness level and skill, Russell easily outperformed his 7-time world champion teammate. When it was during pre-season testing, the majority of drivers had some bumpy rides with porpoising issues. Frontrunners Ferrari and Red Bull had solved this porpoising issue to a greater extent when they come to their first race. But Mercedes are still suffering from the porpoising issue, and Russell has said that he was suffering from severe back pain and chest pain when driving fast laps with W13 under bouncing conditions. If a 24-year-old guy is uncomfortable, then a 37-year-old will feel much more difficulty in driving, and it will be the 37-year-old who would be nearly at the end of his career. According to some reports, Mercedes are trying 2 different setups on Russell and Hamilton cars to find solutions for their issues as soon as possible. But still, the luck is not with Hamilton, as he always got a bad setup. That may be another reason for the different performance levels shown by Russell and Hamilton, even under the same team. At the end of the Imola race, Mercedes principal Toto Wolff directly talks to Hamilton over the radio, as it was a big heartbreak for Hamilton. "Lewis, hi, sorry for what you have needed to drive today," Wolff said. "I know that this is undrivable and not what we deserve to score as a result, so we move from there, but this was a terrible race." Hamilton replied, "No worries, Toto, let's keep working hard." "We will come out of this," Wolff promised. Some major updates are ready for Barcelona's and Miami race weekends to the Silver Arrows, but who knows what is coming up next?
Paljon asioita, mitkä niin kuin... That's gonna be tough.
Lewis Hamilton was totally hopeless at the end of the 2021 season, as he lost to become the first and only 8th World Championship winner in Formula 1. Then the rumours have spread about the sudden retirement of the 7-time world champion as well. Anyhow, he was back in the grid for the 2022 season, surely eyeing his 8th World Championship.
Plug in these straps and pull you out in one piece with the seat.
But it is just another disappointing season for Lewis Hamilton, with the uncompetitive W13, which is far away behind the front runners, Red Bull and Ferrari. On the other hand, he has always beat his young teammate, and a series of these things may have put the 7-time world champion under huge pressure. The tone of his radio messages is clearly evidence how he has turned out to be a very courageous race winner to a disappointed midfield racer. As he is under intense pressure from every side, it is very interesting to see how he manages these things in the upcoming races to become a race winner again. Well, that was everything for today. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please drop a like below. It would help the channel out a lot.